Hey, another week, another Joe Zone, right? Hey to the land from the Walking Dead. I've been just telling Shane I've been sick all week with some kind of crud, and I feel like death warmed over, as my grandfather used to say. So, and I'm sure the rest of you that have had to navigate the heat in the past week are probably just about either completely roasted or at least parboiled because it's been hot. So, if you've been in that situation, my condolences. Supposedly, we're going to get a break in that, so that would be actually good, so that maybe we get some other stuff done, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been a hot one this week.
Yeah, so that would be good. Supposedly, it's going to cool off. So,
there we go.
Let's see. What are you doing, John? What do you got this week?
Whew, I don't know. It's been a hot week. Too hot to do anything. I don't know. I got not a whole lot from. I know I've got way behind on the Toy Fair update, so I got a few letters I want to read from issue number 6.
Yay!
Which was February 1998.
Wow.
And it's in. I mean, it's again, like I said, these letters. You know, I go back and read these, and I see it's the same thing. It's what we're dealing with today.
Yep.
It's just nothing ever changed. But some of them are kind of humorous. I thought y'd like this first one here. It says, "Dear Toy Fair, maybe I can help you understand why a few toy readers are so cranky. First off, these 20-somethingers often still live at home with their mummies to support their toy habits. Mummy wakes him at the crack of dawn as per his request. He races to his car, which his parents bought in the hopes that he might go out and look for a job, and prepares to race to the local mall before it opens." And I guess, there were a lot of people went to the malls because you had like KB Toys and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those days. I should also point out that he spent the prior evening, a Friday night, in a marathon 20-hour D&D game, drinking 2 liters of Mountain Dew straight from the bottle. He may someday go out on a date, but not until Stormcrow the elf reaches his 20th level.
Seems to know a lot about this.
The store clerks see him through their windows. It's that guy again, the guy with the dandruff, black overcoat in the summer, and gut you could bounce an industrial dumpster off of. He barges in and makes a nuisance of himself and leaves empty-handed. Crazed, he heads to the local card gaming shop to spin elaborate deals with the local magic clique, the same clique that glares at you when you walk in the front door. The store manager accidentally turns on the fan and the dandruff blows about the room like a snow globe. Toy Fair doesn't need these scruffy, unibrowed weirdos reading your magazine or trying to pawn rare figures off on us at outrageous prices. Let's let them go do some live action role playing in front of a bus. And of course, Toy Fair's response was, "Hee, Stormcrow."
20-somethings. Isn't that funny? 20-somethings. Yeah. It's 25 years ago. 20-something.
I thought y'all would find that kind of funny.
Yeah, that one is.
I bet a 55-year-old wrote the book.
Right. That guy is now dead. So, because he was a 30-something, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. That one's funny, actually.
Oh, okay. I thought you might like this one too. Toy fair. I'm sure collectors out there have girlfriends who just don't understand our passion for collecting toys. Dragging them into Toys R Us is like taking us to the opera. Well, one day while I was examining the ever so popular Star Wars figures, my girlfriend wandered off to look at kitty backpacks. For some unknown reason, she unzipped the latch of a Little Mermaid backpack, and inside was a secret little stash. Hiding inside were Nin Noom, EV99, and Yak Face. Yep, all three brand new figures stashed away by some sneaky soul, all for me. Boy, was my girlfriend excited. I think she was more excited than me. What a find. Well, the moral to the story is to make sure you find a girl you can share this exciting hobby with. Remember, 2 heads are better than 1, and with this attitude, you'll be sure to find some pretty cool toys. Toy Fair's response. I'm printing this letter for one reason and one reason alone. And it sure ain't as a tip for finding Star Wars figures stashed in Disney merchandise. Toy Fair quite literally gets, no exaggeration, 1 billion letters a month. And as the guy who reads every single one of them, I've drawn the following conclusion. Male toy collectors will use any excuse, any at all, to mention their girlfriends. Perhaps it's insecurity, perhaps toy fans, consciously or not, feel a bit defensive about their interest in what's principally a kid's medium. That's what I told Nev Campbell at dinner last night. Anyway. These guys crack me up. Okay, letter number 3. Dear Toy Fair, in response to your girl power feature in Toy Fair number 3, don't you think you should make a more realistic figure, such as one that screams and yells when you go out with your friends? Maybe she can have a voice chip. Don't you love me anymore? Do you think I'm fat? Do you think I'm pretty? You guys get my point, right? Toy Fair's response. Toy Fair's response. In 1987, when Married with Children debuted on the Fox network, we all knew there'd someday be a price to pay. Apparently, that day has arrived. Okay. All right. This next one is actually something that we've discussed, or has been discussed. I've seen discussed in multiple toy groups, especially Marvel Legend groups. And so it kind of, I mean, like I said, this was back then, and the same topic seemed to be going around. But it says, dear funky toy gods, I'm in my room playing with my action figures. Captain America has just been defeated by Dr. Doom, and Iron Man is coming to his aid when I start thinking about how great it would be if one of the many toy companies made civilian action figures. I think that would be beyond swell. You could have an entire collection of innocent bystanders, from Jim the accountant with arm-losing action to Grandma Helen with purse-swinging action. Also, why does Toy Biz make little 5-character subdivisions of their Spider-Man and X-Men lines? They used to have one big X-Men toy line. Now they've broken it up into Water Wars and Missile Flyers. How come? So I know that's been a big topic last year or so, talking about civilian action figures. But Toy Fair responded, according to Toy Biz product manager Jesse Falcon, civilian action figures would go over about as well as Murder, She Wrote figures. They just don't sell. He says, although he notes that the Toy Biz famous covers Aunt May is technically a civilian, as well as the J. Jonah Jameson head on the Chameleon figure, while we're thinking of it, the Mary Jane and Peter Parker figures are pretty civilian looking. As for breaking the large figure lines into smaller, self-contained assortments, the less characters per assortment, the more assortments and different lines we can do. Falcon explains that's how we can do an all bad guys line or an all female line. And so anyhow, that there you go. That's why we don't have civilian toys.
Yes, right.
I think maybe they were right back then, because possibly we didn't have that many toy photographers then as we do now. But now I think a civilian line would go over great.
Well, you did have like those the what was it called here recently, the jumpsuit jockeys or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jumpsuit Mafia or whatever it was.
Yeah, Jumpsuit Mafia.
Yeah.
But if you had a bunch of, men and women in civilian clothes walking around, toy photographers would tear that up. Diorama people would tear that up.
Yeah, but I wonder, you got so many small companies now that could actually do that, right? But they don't seem to. So I think whether it's true or not, that attitude still seems to be in strong circulation. That there just isn't a market, because a lot of these smaller guys like Valaverse, they could put out collateral damage figures.
Yeah.
But they don't. So it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if there actually is. I guess it depends on what you call. Well, I guess what depends on what you call a market, right? I mean, I don't know how many thousands of something do they have to sell before it's profitable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you definitely want to do like head swaps and other accessories where you could make more than one different civilian out of that might help it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, make a generic, like 2 or 3 generic bucks of men with different outfits on or whatever. Same with women, right? And then head swaps, leg swaps. I think it might work. I don't know. I just don't know though. No one seems to be jumping on it.
If you go on Instagram and all the toy photographers, that's something they want.
Yeah.
Or like you're talking about Jameson, from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've seen people go in and buy that figure just for the body.
Yeah.
So they can swap heads and make civilians.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't remember the Marvel girl that had on the red jacket and the blue jeans. Her also, people bought tons
Jessica
of her.
Jones.
Yeah. And they've just swapped her head out and, her jacket, painted her, different colors and made a civilian woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And used them in their photos and dioramas and stuff.
Yep.
I think it would be something to think about for a group, Valaverse or somebody like that,
I think, I tell you what though, maybe, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Maybe it's still just a little too early, because I think you just hit the nail on the head by using that word diorama. I think you're going to find the older we get, we collectors get, I still think dioramas are going to become a bigger thing than they ever have been, because we're going to be more into the hobby and less into the spending as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to want cool, interesting ways to display our figures, not just have them laying around in totes and stuff.
I bought. Let me get it. And I'll show you. I don't know if you guys seen these or not.
I think that's what I'm planning on anyway.
That's these little things.
Yeah, exactly. Props, right?
These little things. It's a pallet. This. A barrel. They scale great with the G.I. Joe 112 scale.
Sure.
I mean, I bought these in planning to make dioramas. I just can't paint.
Well,
I'm terrible at it. I can build anything I want, but I just can't paint it.
Well, isn't that something we're hearing a lot lately about vehicles?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got a busted tab, right? Something's not right, but the new term is displays well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think we're all going to get to that point where, those of you guys that have got houses and stuff and everything else, kids are growing up, moving out finally, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have that extra room. I do think diorama building is going to become more and more of a thing as we get older, because we're going to have more time. We're going to have more time than we necessarily have money, right? So we're going to start making things. So you know what? Maybe back on track. Maybe this idea of civilian characters or collateral damage characters, what do you want to call them? Maybe it's just that its time just hasn't hit right. I don't know. Just a thought. Random thoughts from a random guy. Go ahead, John.
Carry on.
Okay. One more letter right here, and this is actually a pretty good one, something to think about. It says, "Dear Toy Fair, I'm tired of stores with only old crap. Every time I look for a new Star Wars toy, all they have is Yoda and Luke. I remember a time when you couldn't find Yoda.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Why can't the stores have a section for new toys? And that's actually a good point. It would be neat if they had like an end cap in Walmart that every time they get new toys in, they put it on the end cap, and then after a month, move it to the regular shelves or something. But problem is most people in the toy department ain't gonna know new from old. And
yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true.
They do with Transformers and Turtles and
yeah, if there's a movie or something pushing it, they usually do like a especially Target. Target does like end caps to promote movies and stuff.
What's up, Timothy?
Yeah, like a comic shop, right? New releases.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
New releases and back issues.
Anyway, that's all the letters I have. I thought some of those were kind of entertaining.
Oh.
And not a whole lot. I mean, it's really amazing because like I said, during the 90s, I was, of course, early 90s, I was in college and I was more collecting comic books at the time. And then, of course, late 90s, about 96 is when I got into the Playmate Star Trek figures. But and then, of course, the Power of the Force, too. But I didn't realize, I still get surprised every now and then by characters that Toy Biz did for the Marvel Universe that, just characters you never think of being an action figure. They did them back in the 90s with the 5-inch. It's amazing at how many different characters they put out in that short period of time. But anyway, not to take too much time. Like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of time to go through it. The action figure, again, for this issue of Toy Fair was Alpha Flight's Guardian.
Cool.
He was the figure for this issue that you could mail away for. So they were still primarily up to issue 6. They were still primarily onto the Marvels, the Toy Biz Marvel stuff. That was let's see, and then y'all care to take a guess on the top 10? Which toy line dominated the top 10 again in issue 6?
February of 1998. Let's see. Had to have been Bucky O'Hare.
Well, they're back up. Looks like Star Wars has 8 of the 10 spots in this issue.
Yeah.
No, and believe it or not, care to take a guess what figure, non-Star Wars figure, is on the top 10 list this go around?
I'm gonna say Dr. Doom.
Nope.
Harley Quinn had to have been off the list by then.
Nope, she's still on it.
Still there.
Still on it. There she is, number 7.
There she is.
And then Batgirl, Wing Blitz Batgirl got number 6.
Oh, nice.
But you had
Doom would have carried. You got some credit after the last episode.
You'd think so. Number 10 was the Rancor Keeper. Number 9 was Ninu. Number 8 was Yak Face. And you notice it's always the new wave of figures that come out always make a top 10 because everybody's looking for them, right? Mm-hmm. You had Harley Quinn at 7, Batgirl at 6, the Emperor's Royal Guard at 5, the Snow Trooper for 4, Luke in ceremonial outfit was number 3. The Bomar Monk was still on the list at number 2. And Dr. Evazan, I guess how you pronounce it.
Evazan, yep. Evazan and Ponda Baba.
And the Misfit toy was, and this like I said, they made toys, Toy Biz made toys I never knew existed. Like this Ninja Iceman.
Oh, nice.
So having powers of ice is not enough. He's also got to be a ninja. Because you got all those ninja mutants that you have to fight and stuff. So, but anyway, there you go. That's that was the top 10 for issue number 6.
Nice.
And so this weekend, I went ahead and did it. I went ahead and broke down I went ahead and broke down and opened my sealed bags and put together the Stealth Bomber.
There it is.
Surprisingly, it didn't have that many pieces because the big part of the plane was already in there.
Right.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, if you don't read them directions really good and like read them 2 or 3 times, this thing can be a pain to put together. But if you the landing gear, man, I thought I was going to break it trying to get the landing gear. And you got to pay close attention because there's slightly differences in the size of the front landing gear and the back landing gear. And I didn't notice it at first, and I almost broke some clips off trying to get it on. But actually, I got it together. And the stickers, I mean, if you can see the stickers are actually still, they weren't real gummy.
Nice.
I mean, they had a little feel to them, but they were actually come out pretty nice. And I didn't realize because when I done the Condor last week, it had all the little, well, you know, like here you got the, you see the Cobra, so the number of Cobras that was shot down.
Yeah.
And I noticed the Condor had these little, it was like looked like a skull with a top pad on it, and I had to like magnify it to figure that out. And I was like, well, that's kind of odd until I realized that that's actually the symbol on the, see that?
Oh, there it is. Nice.
So apparently the Condor was very good at shooting down stealth bombers.
Apparently.
Because it had them all on both sides and on the back and everywhere on it.
Huh.
So apparently the stealth bomber didn't fare so well because it's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kills on it. So.
What a strange plane that thing is, though, huh?
Yeah.
It looks cool from the side, and then, but if you look at it like top on, it's kind of like, what the heck is that thing?
Yeah.
Really strange.
The intakes and all, but yeah, I was surprised. I'd had one before, but it was already put together. It was loose and it was used. And I tell you, the landing gear on the right side on this new one, I mean, it's brand new. It wants to catch.
Huh.
And the one I had before, it was smooth. So I don't know if there's something not quite in the right groove somewhere, but I don't want to try to take it apart to try to figure it out. And I'm going to mainly just leave it sitting. You know.
Now, what year was that one done? What year was that?
This was is the year Rolling Thunder come out, so it'd been 88.
88 or 89.
No,
88 or 89.
Which I remember back in the day that Hasbro was in a real pickle with the DoD, specifically the Pentagon, about one of the other of the aircraft toys that supposedly was top secret, was based on top secret plans that Grumman or somebody had. Mm-hmm. And Hasbro was in a big row with the Department of Defense over stolen plans, basically. Which plane was that? That was the Conquest, correct?
Yeah, I think it was the Conquest.
I think so, yeah.
That was the Conquest, right? It wasn't that thing, because that thing was never made. I don't remember ever seeing anything look like that.
I mean, they had a stealth bomber, but I don't know if it was quite
Batwing
like that. It was.
Yeah, the B-2 is still in service, but that thing is completely weird. But I remember that. I remember that being all over the news back then. That Hasbro was in big trouble. Like they had spies at Area 51 or something stealing top secret plane plans to make toys. You know, is Hasbro actually a Russian front? You know, give me a break.
I did have, of course, like I said, I got the uncut file card, which I'm going to leave it to. I was bad about it. Even later on, I would still go ahead and trim it up, you know, when I get one of those. But now I've learned it's better just to keep them like that.
Yeah.
Especially since I can't cut straight. And I had to tuck him out of the bag because I've got one. I gotta pull him out and see if I got any paint work because of course this one's mint.
Right.
I may just leave him in the bag unless if Beggars Canyon comes out with a repo card for him. I may pop him open then and stick him on one of them cards, but for now I'll probably just leave him in the baggie. And but yeah, he was the one that nobody could ever remember his name in the comics. In the Marvel comics, they're like, "Oh, what's that guy's name?" But obviously, because Ghost Rider was already being used by another Marvel comic, so they couldn't use it in G.I. Joe.
Right.
And we know that even though G.I. Joe was Marvel, I mean, Ghost Rider was Marvel property, but G.I. Joe was actually Hasbro property. Oddly enough, you know, they were talking about doing Shockwave in the classified, and I did hear them say that they got permission from the Transformers group at Hasbro to do. So you'd think being in-house.
That was idiotic, wasn't it?
What's that now?
That was idiotic, wasn't it?
They own both of the licenses.
Huh?
They own both of the licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You think that's odd,
Hasbro reached an agreement with Hasbro today to go ahead and use the name Shockwave. It's like, what? Freaking stupid. I saw that too, and it's just like, wow, that's so dumb.
It is. And I'll be honest with you, and like I said, I'm a Marvel guy all the way, but I still call him Captain Marvel instead of Shazam because that's who he originally was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why both of them can't have a Captain Marvel. Yep. What's the big deal?
Yeah, because DC still calls her Mary Marvel.
Right, yeah, Mary Marvel.
Right?
Yeah.
It's still Mary Marvel. It's not, Mary Shazam. It's Mary Marvel.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of, that was dumb. They just needed to quit fighting. Give me a break.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough fans to go around for both of them.
Exactly.
Like I said, I read some DC. I've read some DC and do from time to time. It ain't no. Sure. I mean, I if I had my preference, I'm going to go with Marvel because I grew up with Spider-Man and that's what I like. But I don't. I like reading Superman, Batman every once in a while. I used to read Green Lantern a lot in the late '80s.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
But anyway, only other thing I got is if you want to zoom back in there, Shane, on Dusty and Tiger Force Dusty here.
There he is.
And he actually has made has a new love interest. And they both seem to have eyes for each other. So I thought, they make the perfect couple, but you have to be careful because they're young daters, and so they have to have somebody to keep an eye on them to chaperone. So you got to ordinary.
That's terrible.
But I put because
I went to full screen for that.
I forgot, the other Dusty also come with 2 sets of goggles. I forgot one's for with the helmet on and one with it off. And I just keep from losing them until I could get them out to the man cave. I stuck them on there. When I stuck them on there, I said, hey, that looks like Black Widow.
Yeah, really? Wow.
I still don't understand this mask. That is a weird mask.
That is weird. Yeah.
I don't know if she's supposed to look sort of like a spider since she's Black Widow or what.
Black Widow, yeah.
She goes out in the sun with those. She's going to have 2 red spots on her forehead. Jeez.
But I just thought that was funny. little humor to go in there. And plus I got my good old sidekick Orb here with me.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna make him my regular weekly mascot. My sidekick for the show.
There you go.
Timothy says DC can still call him Captain Marvel and not Shazam. They just can't call him Captain Marvel on the cover of any comic magazine, etc.
Yeah.
I guess that's an interesting compromise, right?
Yeah.
I'm still not. I'm still don't know why. I'm still do not understand why Marvel won that lawsuit because Captain Marvel, as in Billy Batson, is a lot older than Captain Marvel universe. I still don't. I don't understand the thinking behind that, but
and technically, Captain Marvel was really Captain Marvel with a hyphen.
Right.
And they called him Captain Marvel, but he was actually a captain in the Kree Army, Captain Marvel.
Marvel,
I guess it would depend on who copyrighted the name first. Maybe that.
And I think that's what happened. Marvel decided they was going to copyright it, and they got.
I think that's what the fight was. Yeah, because Fawcett Comics had been bought up, or Wiz Comics had been bought up by Marvel, Warner Brothers years before, and they probably just never bothered. So,
right.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the comic book industry is always the stuff between Marvel and DC has always been interesting. Boy, they're spiteful companies at each other for a while.
Oh yeah.
Boy,
cutthroat business, aren't it?
Yeah, really. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Really?
No, I like I said, I give props to DC because I mean, a lot of people not big Superman fan, but he was literally the first superhero. I mean, before him, you had Flash Gordon, Zorro, Tarzan, but none of them had. He was the first character that they ever made with superpowers.
Yeah,
and so just out of respect, for that, he's if it weren't for him, we probably wouldn't have all the others that we have.
And I have to tell you, I will say this too. if it weren't for Batman over the years in its different iterations, you do understand that Batman has bailed out comic books as a whole repeatedly in history.
Yep.
So, the Marvel guys can, get up on their high horse and talk about the X-Men and their all the civil rights stuff, and which is all real. That's all legitimate, all of that stuff. But you know what? The two big guns at DC have bailed out the entire industry multiple times. So whatever. Now they're in complete disarray, and the sharks are circling. So we'll see.
And it's amazing because I know a lot of people hate the old Batman TV show.
I hated it,
but at that time, Batman comics was failing miserably, and that show actually boosted sales of the comics.
Yep.
So in a way, Adam West saved the comic book industry.
Yep, sure did. Yep, he sure did. Yeah, and if that hadn't happened, Marvel never really would have gotten off the ground the way it did.
Right.
Because it's the same time frame. So, it's all good. It's all good. Props where it belongs.
It's like G.I. Joe and Star Wars. You couldn't have had one without the other.
Yep.
Right.
G.I. Joe was the first action figure, but Star Wars was the first 3 3/4. So they kind of helped each other, really.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. And you know what? The Hulk in the 1970s bailed out most of it too. Yep. And Marvel has treated the Hulk as the redheaded stepchild for decades, but that TV show kept comic books alive with a lot of people too. So there you go. So
and Wonder Woman at the same time. I mean, that kind of propelled. And actually, if I can find it here, I found possibly one of the. Let's see. Did I save that video? Yeah. Awesome. She was a cowgirl, and then she.
Oh man!
Stop it, John! Stop it!
Boy.
Yeah, so cowgirl, Linda Carter.
You're going to lose all of our viewers posting that video.
Well, is that? Are you afraid they're going to get off and start searching for the video?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh man.
Jared Humphrey says, "Sad about Bray Wyatt." Yeah, that was a sad situation.
It is. And you know what, guys? After I read an article late this afternoon that the cause of death was actually released. So we should probably stay away from that because that gets political fast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but just send condolences to the families, all we need to do.
And we lost the voice of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Harley
Quinn. And don't forget, Bob Barker.
Bob Barker,
yeah. There's some childhood stuff right there, too. Right? Chicken pox and Price is Right. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what there was, yeah. And I'll tell you, my grandfather raised me, basically. My mom was just too busy. And we had to make sure that the TV at night was left on channel 6, right? Because he didn't have this is long before, guys, this is before remote controlled TVs.
Oh, yeah.
He was born in 1900. Gives you an idea, right? I was raised by a man that's 2 generations removed.
Right.
He didn't have the strength in his hands anymore to turn the dial to turn the channel on the TV. So the TV was on channel 6, which was NBC, all day long. From the time my grandfather got up in the morning to the time that he went to bed, the TV was on channel 6. And there was one TV in the house, right? You guys probably remember that too, because there just wasn't money for 2 TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Days of Our Lives. And it was really strange in the 80s and into the early 90s because, you wander in and out of the house. You're doing the kid stuff, blah, blah, blah. Days of Our Lives was on NBC every morning after the Today Show, right? So my grandfather watched the stupid Days of Our Lives. Harley Quinn and Q came from Days of Our Lives. Right? Yeah. They were a couple. Those 2 characters.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. John DeLance.
Oh, yeah. That's his name. He and Arlene Sorkin were the wacky, goofy couple on Days of Our Lives for years, guys, years. And then all of a sudden, he's Q and she's a Harley Quinn, and it's just like, wow, that was a. Oh, and I saw that today that she had passed away. That was kind of sad on that front for me because it's just like, wow, I remember her clearly because they were goofball characters on that soap opera. Because soap operas, I think, pretty much are gone now, aren't they? They don't even have those anymore.
No.
I don't even know.
So
my aunt continues to watch them today.
does she really?
Oh, no.
My stories, right? Does she call them her stories?
Yeah.
The stories.
Yeah.
The stories.
Still the
But
same
yeah, when I
ones
saw-
too. Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, General
Yeah.
Hospital, all of them. She still watches them all.
Yeah. No, I'm saying just for the record, I was not. I'm aware of this Bray Wyatt guy. I haven't been and watched wrestling in years.
I mean, either.
I was aware of him though. He seemed to be a real talented guy. He seemed to love the business. I did not realize he was third generation. Because these guys changed their names and stuff to. Wrestling seems to be very much so a family business, anyways. If you ask me.
His actual name was Wyndham Rotunda.
Wyndham Rotunda, yeah. So
his dad was Mike Rotunda, and he was named after Barry Windham, another wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sad. At 36 years old, 2 little girls,
4 kids total.
4 kids total. Yeah. So that's a sad thing.
2 by his first wife, 2 by his second wife.
Okay, so maybe that's why it said 2 little girls because they weren't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and Terry Funk. Yeah, remember Terry Funk pretty well.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Wyndham was his uncle. There you go. So, yeah, yeah. Like I said, guys, we probably ought to stay away from that one because that'll get political fast. Other than to say, it's sad to see almost anybody with that much talent and potential at 36 years old pass away from something so silly, right? I mean, so. Can't hold a candle to Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is a great modern pick for Wonder Woman, but she ain't no Linda Carter.
Heck no.
No.
Ain't no way.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Alf, but no. No.
He got hit by a star on his way down this time, apparently.
No, and if it happens again, your comments will be blocked because that is just ridiculous. Yeah, see Timothy. Yeah, Timothy, right there.
Crazy day.
Oh man,
Linda Carter all day, every day.
There you go. See, you will continue
that would like
to
me
be allowed
saying
on the
Jessica
podcast.
Simpson was the best Daisy Duke. Come on, man! Don't even say that.
See, crack is whack, right? I mean, we all know it.
Don't do drugs, Corey.
And I'm going to tell you, to me, Bill Bixby will always be Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
He actually looked more and fit more like the comic than Ed Norton or Mark Ruffalo or Eric Bana.
The good thing about Bill Bixby is he actually could pass as angry because he was always he played the character he was on the edge, right? He was always on the edge and the other guys were just, I'm afraid of being angry. Bill Bixby came across as angry, right? Yeah. And he was keeping it just below the E, right? Just right about here. Yeah, no, he did a great job.
Yep. But you always knew when you seen them eyes turn white or you seen Linda Carter start to spin, the bad guys were in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It was on like Donkey Kong.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, well, I guess that's probably a generational thing, right?
I think Catherine Bach was everybody's first love around our age.
Oh no, it was Linda Carter.
I love them both. Like John said, when she started doing that little twirl, goodness, it was just something about her.
Oh, there was a lot more than something. There was a whole lot of something about her.
My eyes will twirl.
Good night, buddy.
She had the height too, because Linda Carter's 6'1" or.
She's a tall girl. Yeah, she was
5'11".
Is she 5'11"? Okay. I think Gal Gadot. Is it Gal? How do you pronounce her last name?
It's Gal. It's
Gal.
Everybody calls her Gal Gadot, but it's Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
it is Gadot.
It is Gadot. She's Israeli. Okay. She's not French.
Yeah, that's the way I pronounced it. Was Gadot.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think she's 5'9". I think she's my height.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Yeah, but she got the heels and the boots.
Pretty short.
Yeah. Side chick. Side chick. Boy, that's some delusion running strong there, huh?
I'd be the same way, Timothy.
I tell you the other one. What was her name? Greatest American Hero.
Oh,
she married Gil Gerard in real life. You know what I'm talking about.
What from Greatest American Hero?
Yeah. What's her name?
I cannot think of her name for nothing.
She was crush-worthy too. Back in the day.
No doubt.
She was crush-worthy too. I can't remember her name. She's married to John Tesh now. They do all kinds of weird. Mrs. Gerard, don't start your nonsense.
She was on that show Hotel back in the 80s too. Remember that? There was a show about a hotel and she was one of the managers at it.
Oh, probably. I don't remember.
That was like after Greatest American Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For me it was Heather Thomas on the Fall Guy.
Oh well, that was a thing. Yeah, I was a teenager. It was well into my teenage years by then. Things are different about crushes back then.
And don't forget about the $1 Million Woman now.
Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay
Wagner was a beautiful woman too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Corey had a thing for the dog. What was it? Rex? Was that the dog's name? Rex.
Jared says
Connie Selleck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connie
yes.
Selleck.
Yes.
Connie Selleck. Yeah.
Yep.
Great American Hero.
I like that show. I loved that show when I was a kid.
Yeah. Theme music popping in my head right now.
Yep.
We're walking on air.
And you can't forget Linda Gray too from Buck Rogers. Wilma.
Oh yeah, she's still around. She's still around too.
Yeah.
And there was some beautiful women back then, wasn't there?
Well, a lot of them were on TV. Yep. Yep. Now you turn on TV, you're not really showing the women at all. So. Oh, jeez. Yeah, there you go.
She was Smurftastic.
That's pretty twisted.
Heather Locklear, yeah. She's still pretty, ain't she?
Oh yeah, Heather Locklear.
I saw a story about her the other day. One of these paparazzi scumbags took pictures of her sitting outside of a rehab center, waiting to go in for like her 7th or 18th time. And oh man, that woman is in some rough shape, boy. She's used herself up. She was literally just sitting on a concrete retaining wall by the sidewalk, waiting for the rehab center to open. And one of those scumbags took pictures of her and puts it all over the internet. She's in a bad way. It's so sad. These people, they just use themselves. There's something about that lifestyle. They just get used right up. I don't know, man.
That's why a lot of them end up on drugs because of stuff like the paparazzi and the that kind of they can't handle it. They overload, I guess you'd say, and then they turn to drugs and whatever they get their hands on.
It's funny. Fame. Go ahead, Shane.
A lot of it could be the hours they put in too, because a lot of them are working 18 hours a day, 6-7 days a week sometimes.
Yeah.
I was watching. I don't know if y'all seen the Family Stallone on Paramount Plus about Sylvester Stallone. And he was making the movie or TV series
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King, yeah. And he was gone from his family for like 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And then time that he was home, it was only for a couple of days and gone again.
Right.
So, I mean, that's got to be rough, man.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. And
even though his kids are full grown, his wife,
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it's got to be rough.
Yeah, I remember, Michael J. Fox when he was filming Back to the Future while he was doing Family Ties, and I forget how many hours he's putting in. He was.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
They had to work it because he was in the contract for Family Ties. They weren't going to use him for the movie. I think they actually filmed some of the movie with who was it? There was another guy, I can't remember his name, and I think they actually filmed part of the movie with that other guy, and then they come to an agreement with the whatever network had Family Ties to allow him to
NBC.
do in the hours that he wasn't filming there to work on the movie, so they ended up putting him on there. But
was that the Eric Stoltz joke during the Flash movie?
I think so. Yeah, Eric Stoltz. That was his name.
Yeah, that was the running joke there on that. We watched the Flash movie last night. So,
what did you think about it?
I will say I was pleasantly surprised. I found it kind of funny, but at the same time, as a long-time DC guy, seriously, I oddly enough, I felt kind of guilty about thinking it was funny because this was supposed to be Barry Allen. I mean, Barry Allen is second only to Bruce Wayne as far as detective skills and forensics. You remember Flash Facts? I mean, Flash was a serious book. There were millions of kids that got into science and stuff in the 60s because of the Flash book.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of goofy and funny and strange and weird. And I kind of, like I said, I found it funny, but kind of felt guilty about finding it funny because I really wanted to see a serious Barry Allen. I never liked Michael Keaton as Batman, but I actually liked him in this movie. I think he did a good job. I was actually kind of surprised. I actually liked the Supergirl too. I really did. I will say that for $300 million, the CGI in places in that movie needed to be a whole lot better because some of the faces were just terrible. But you know what? I was actually pleasantly surprised by that movie. I actually liked it. And it makes me angry that was supposedly going to tie up the Snyderverse, right? And it didn't. It left a great big gaping hole right in the middle of everything. Still, it didn't fix a thing.
It did do one thing. It got rid of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh, jeez. But it had to be, and I remember hearing that for months, the rumors were they were desperately trying to get Christian Bale to make a cameo in that movie. And it was supposed to be that end scene. That was supposed to be Christian Bale, not George Clooney. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out.
Spoiler alert if anybody hadn't watched it yet.
We probably
should have said that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed though that they didn't at least have Val Kilmer in there during all the other worlds when they were coming together, and you had Christopher Reeves and George Reeves and Adam West and you had all the live action movies.
If they would have had Kilmer in there though, he couldn't have had any parts because he's got that throat cancer and he can't even talk right now.
Yeah, but he could have been CGI easily because everybody else is CGI.
Hey, Val Kilmer's got throat cancer.
Kilmer, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a mess.
He's
a mess.
He's almost passing away.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't in
the new Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
In that movie, he could barely say his lines because his throat was so bad.
Yeah, he's a mess.
They say now that he can't even hardly speak at all.
Yeah, he's a mess.
As far as actor goes, I like Val Kilmer. I just didn't like him for Batman because he was younger than Robin. Chris O'Donnell looked older than Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
it's gonna look right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with it, anyways.
I watched the new Top Gun, and I liked it better than I did the first one. Really, to be honest with you.
You know what? I had never watched the first one.
Really? Wow.
No. I never did. And I actually tried to a few weeks ago, because I figured, we'll watch the new one, but I just never watched the first one. So I still didn't watch the first one. I fell asleep or something. It's just not my thing, man.
I watched it back when it come out 40 years ago or whatever. but I just never really had the desire to watch it again. It just
it's really an 80s movie, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just an 80s movie, which most of them are kind of
I'm
crap.
not a big Tom Cruise fan.
Me
And
either.
I'm not even a big NASCAR fan, but I will say I did like Days of Thunder. For some reason,
yeah.
I watched that movie multiple times. And I don't know why. I just it had two things that I really didn't care for, but when you put them together, I don't know. It was just. I think Robert Duvall really made it for me. I mean, he was the pit chief. Or whatever.
Yeah, he was.
He's telling me, he said, I want you to go out there and hit the pace car. And he said, hit the pace car. He said, yeah, you've hit everything else out there. You might as well be perfect.
Yeah, but let's face it, man. Robert Duvall, everything he touches is great, man.
Yeah.
That Secondhand Lions is a fantastic
Oh,
movie.
I love it.
That's a great
Love
movie.
That's a good
great
movie.
Times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many times. And,
Interesting. I don't know. What do you got, Shane? Anything specific? Before we just kind of ramble some more.
I got a few things I'm going to go over. Let's see if I can get this picture pulled up. The new Marvel Studios Series 2 Lego minifigs come out this week. Or they actually come out September the 1st, but some places are dropping them early. So I've been looking at them, picking a few up here and there. Picked up a couple the other day. This is the box that they come in. It's 36. So there's three sets of 12 in this box. I picked up a few the other day, and I got a couple doubles. And then as I was looking online the other day, I found out that a guy has bought multiple of these boxes here, and he has put out a list on the order of the figures in the box. And he's opened up like 3 boxes. He's a reseller, so he resells them on his little whatnot show or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so he's bought 3 boxes of them, and he's opened them up. And so he opened up 3 boxes of these, and every figure was in the same order. It kind of saves you time on, because they're blind boxes. They used to be bags. They went from bags to boxes. They went from the bags to the boxes because people would fill the bags. And you could fill for certain pieces for each minifig. Yeah. Like for Storm, you see Storm there on the right-hand side of the box. She's got them lightning bolts.
Yeah.
People would fill for those lightning bolts so
right.
They could Storm. Then like for Beast, they would fill for Beast's headpiece, his ears, and then Wolverine the same way. And on, like for Hawkeye, they would fill for the Hawk or his owl, whatever it is, really. And then just different things they fill for. But they did away with that and went to boxes to prevent people from filling so they could make more money. And but all people's going to do, the boxes are easy to open. People's just going to open the boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just how people are. And this is the front of the package, which is, really good packaging, in my opinion. But this is the lineup in each box.
That's interesting.
The left side is the top row. And you've got Mr. Knight, Goliath, another Goliath. I forget this girl's name. I got a list of the names. Anyway, you see what I mean. This is your top row on the left. And then the bottom row is on the right. And it's got that's how they are lined up. If you see in the box, the main box, you see how they're lined up on the left and right there. That's how they are in the box, supposedly. So I found this picture and watched his blog. It's Jay's brick blog or something like that. But I watched it and I thought, well, I'm gonna try it out. So I did, and this is the list of the people. And I started with the top row because I found the box, didn't want to shuffle it all up in case other people wanted it. So I went in, I just grabbed Goliath, Storm, and Agatha back here at first, and She-Hulk, just to see. Well, I pulled those, and every one of them was what it was.
Wow.
So then a couple of days later, I went back and got Beast and this girl here, the three on the left for the Wolverine. Can't remember her name. Let's see here. Echo. I don't even know what she's from. I think it might be that Shang-Chi movie, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
She's from the Hawkeye.
Okay. Anyway, I grabbed her,
Hawkeye.
and sure enough, they was right.
Well,
Now, that day I got Mr. Knight. I got Mr. Knight and Beast and all that. So today I decided I was going to go back and try the bottom row. Well, I picked out. I made a trade with a guy in the group for Kate Bishop. Made a trade with him for her, so I didn't have to worry about getting her because he needed an Agatha, and I had an extra of her. So then I went back and pulled 4 more boxes, and I pulled Hawkeye, Mr. Werewolf by night, and Moon Knight. So I was just curious to see if it was right. This is kind of the little insert that comes with it. And it's a checklist, of course. It's pretty cool if you collect minifigs and stuff like that. Wrong one. But anyway, that's the order.
wow.
Shared it with folks, shared it in the group and with the Lego group that I'm in. So
What are the heads in the back? That looks like the master mode from the Sentinel.
yeah, it's the I forget what they're called, the robots that Wolverine and them fought on the X-Men.
Right, the
Yeah,
Sentinels.
Sentinels, yeah. That was that on that.
Is that like a building minifig or something? You get
No,
pieces
it's just a head that's been ripped off. Is all
Oh,
it is.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Probably come a Wolverine, I guess.
Yeah, and then you can see the second Wolverine from the back has his normal hair on, where he's unmasked, and that's what's laying out to the side beside the heads there.
Okay.
But that would be cool for them to build a minifig, but I don't think they'll do that. But but this was the order. Like I said, I went back today and I grabbed Mr. Werewolf here, Moon Knight, and Hawkeye, and I grabbed the random. Do what? Do what, Dave?
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'd like to have one of those little Wolverines because I got a Lego Hulk figure here that would look cool.
They're pretty cool, and the Beast is really cool because most of them has on their face they have different expressions on the back side, so you can swap.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you can see on one of the Beasts here at the very front, he's got an angry face, and then the one behind him, he's got his glasses on.
Huh.
And he comes with a coffee cup with an X-Men logo on it and a microscope. They're pretty cool.
So,
yes, sir.
Wolverine is, according to this, Wolverine is going to be on the left side of the package.
On the top, if you find a fresh box,
Yeah,
that's not been tampered with,
right,
it should go on the top left, and that's exactly where I got mine because I pulled the second one out of the bag on it.
Okay,
and
all right,
got it. So
cool. Okay,
but that's theory. Now every box may not be the same. You may have.
It's funny. I'm looking at that picture. I don't see 4 boxes across the top of it.
Well, there's 2 underneath. You've got a top layer and then a bottom layer.
All right.
That's what I was talking about. The second line, the second row, 2 rows on the right is going to be.
Those are on the bottom level.
Those are going to be your bottom level. There's a little cardboard sleeve that separates the 2 levels.
Yeah.
And you have this is the one on the left is your top, and the one on the right is the bottom.
Thanks.
According to that, but they're pretty cool. I really dig the minifig series because they do like last year at Christmas time they had Christmas, little Christmas minifigs, and it was pretty cool because I've got all the Lego Winter Village Christmas stuff that I like to put out during Christmas time, and lights. I got lights for it and all that. It's really just Christmassy. I love Christmas. It's my time of year, mainly because it's cold. But anyway, so like I said, I went back today and picked up a few more packs and thought I'd open them. So the ones I picked up today was Hawkeye, the Werewolf, and Moon Knight. And then I picked up 4, just picked up a random to see what it was. But I'm going to open. You can see they're not been opened. This is what the box looks like on the side.
Yep.
There's a lot of rumors. There's some numbers right there where that QR code is. You can see that QR code right there on the right-hand side. There's a lot of rumors that is a clue to what's in the box, but these numbers are so random. It's just I don't see how it would be a clue at all. And then people are going as far as to weigh these things in the store with a mini scale.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Mini electric, a mini electric scale to, and people got weights posted to these things, but the sides are glued down. Right here on the sides, they're glued down. So I mean, if you've got a little more glue in there,
Yeah,
or a little more,
exactly.
and the top is glued on right here. So if you've got a little more glue in there than the other side, your weights are going to be off. I just don't see where that's going to work.
Wow.
And then people are saying that these numbers are actually just batch numbers, is what batch the minifig was made in. But like I said, I went with this guy's guide, and he's hit it pretty good. So, like today, I went and got what's supposed to be Hawkeye, the werewolf, Moon Knight, and then I got a random. There was a box there, and then there was a end cap on the side of the end cap, just full of them. I mean, hundreds of them. Because these things, they're really, really cool. The first series they had of these had a bunch in them, and they sold out like quick. Stores couldn't keep them in.
I never even saw them.
They are really cool. If you like Legos, they're really cool. And I like the minifig series a lot. I buy a lot of them. I got a bunch of them here on my shelves behind me. Just tons of them. The Muppets, the Simpsons, they have the series of those. But it's cool. But I'm gonna open these up real quick, just to see if the theory is right. So I was going for Hawkeye, the werewolf, Moon Knight, and then I got a random. So we're gonna see what we get first.
And you're getting these out of Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart, Target. Target sells them. But if you don't want to take a chance and roll your dice on spending your money, Rocket City Toys has got them in. They will be starting selling them September 1st. He sticks with the gut rules on that. Great place to go. But he has put a little slit in the side of the box and looked inside to see who's in it. Sealed it back with plastic wrap, or like a shrink wrap, or not shrink wrap, like a sealing machine.
Yeah.
Seals them. Yeah. And then he's listed what figures in it on the box.
Huh.
So you can go get it, and not have to worry about spending a couple of bucks. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, Hawkeye, Werewolf, Moon Knight. This is the first one I'm going to open.
That's what I liked about the G.I. Joe Creos. When they come out, they had a code on the back.
Right.
And each one had a different code, so you can just look on the back at the code and tell what figure it was.
Right.
That I loved it too, because you can look them codes up online and find them everywhere. Okay, first figure. I lost his head. But
don't lose your head.
It went rolling across. I said, I'll be right back.
Must have been a stressful situation if he lost his head.
It was. You got upset. I think I'll run.
He's looking.
Oh, found him.
Heads will roll.
Yeah, heads will roll. So, first pack I pulled. Remember, I needed Hawkeye, Werewolf, Moon Knight, and Wolverine. First opened is Hawkeye.
Cool.
So that box was one of them I was looking for. So let me put all this stuff back. I ain't gonna put everything on him. They come with a lot of stuff and even extra pieces. They even come with this little clear piece. You probably can't see it real well.
You can see something there.
But it comes with this, and you can actually put it on another piece they have that has a hole in the center. And you can mount that on it and put him like he's jumping in the air. Everyone
like a flight stand for a Lego minifig.
Like a flight
cool.
For a Lego. Every one of them comes with one.
That's pretty clever.
They're all superheroes. All right, so
nice.
That's one for one. So another one. So we can mark Hawkeye off the list. He's gone. Not open, never been open or anything. So we will open this sucker up. See what's in it. Now remember, I did get one random, so Don't want to lose a head. I'm being gentle here. Okay, so
Are they in a bag in the box or just,
no, they're just in the box.
just loose in the box?
Just
Really?
loose in the box.
That seems
And you
dangerous.
can,
Yeah, different, huh?
you can shake them around, everything. So I mean, they have a
They probably
really good-
somebody figured out each one leaves a certain pitch when you shake it.
Yeah,
They're in there with tuning forks.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going for the scale. So I mean, anything's
What are
possible.
you doing with those scales? I don't know. What are you doing with that tuning fork? I'm trying to figure out what this box.
Anyway,
Well, this
Or
one's got adamantium, and he hums at a different rate when I shake the box.
I tell you, some of the I guess some of the collectors around my area, they know how to do it. They get it right every time. Because you'll find the box open or the pack door open and then put back there. For that.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, when I'm trying to figure, just open it up and look. It's like,
Yeah, yep.
I've heard of a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, needed the werewolf, Moon Knight, and then I just got a random. This one was the werewolf.
Cool.
So far, the list he's made is looking very good. So now all I need is Moon Knight and whatever the random piece was I got. So another box. We'll see what it is. I may have run all of our viewers off. I don't know.
I doubt it. We did that already.
So now I need Moon Knight.
minifigures or action figures too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I love them. Okay, so this must have been my random because it's the Echo girl, and I've lost about half of her pieces, so I'm not even gonna worry about her.
Well,
There you go.
I mean, I heard things hit the floor like crazy. I should have thought this better out. Like a bowl or something. Good thing is I have her already, so if anybody wants to trade for her, I'm willing to trade for
There
something.
you go.
Okay, last box, and hopefully it's Moon Knight. So here we go. We're trying not to lose these pieces. The suspense is killing me. Didn't lose no pieces, guys.
Nice.
I'm very happy with myself. So, gotta say, the man knows what he's talking about because there's Moon Knight.
Nice.
So, I mean, I went for Hawkeye, Werewolf, and Moon Knight, and that's what I've got. So, the guy knows what he's talking about. So, if you guys want that picture or anything, holler at me. I'll get it to you somehow.
Cool.
so
Or,
at least one of those you should be able to figure out, right, Echo? You shake the box and then wait for a minute and see if you hear it shake again.
I never heard of Echo. I never saw what pieces went either. So
Right.
I'll step on them pieces tomorrow, probably in the morning.
Yeah, right.
I'll find them real quick.
It's like,
Anyway, the list works.
yep, it's Echo.
But anyway, that's what I had. Thought it was something interesting to cover for those that collect Legos or whatnot.
If you're a reader of the comic, Echo was actually the first Ronin, and then Hawkeye took over the mantle of Ronin later in the New Avengers comics.
Okay.
Just a little background story or background from the comics, anyway.
Very nice. But that's the order. Left side, top row, right side, bottom row. If anyone is interested.
Cool.
But I did post it in the group also. So I just find building Legos for me is a relief, like a stress reliever.
Sure.
Like I built my wife, she's into gardening and farming and whatnot. And I built her a little diorama the other day out of some little packs that I've been buying for her over the few days or few months actually. But I built this little thing. You can't see it really well, but it's got pigs and sheep and goats and a knocked over wheelbarrow full of cherries. Pumpkins, just a few little things. chicken house.
Nice.
It's just something. It's a stress reliever for me.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that.
You know, I build all day long, and then I come home and fiddle with them and put things together. Still,
Yep.
You build all day long, and then you build all night long.
yeah.
That's right.
Sometimes I build in my dreams.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that's all I had for tonight, guys.
Awesome. Well, no guest again this week. I'm telling you guys. I mean, legitimately, I've been sick with some kind of crud for the last couple of weeks, so I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't done much of anything, and I'm certainly not going to spread it around, to these guys that need to keep their stores open and, like that. That's not quite right. So, so let's do a topic, and I'll tell you what triggered it, and if we still have people paying attention, this is one of those times where it's time to have a chat, right? This is user friendly. I went in. I don't know what day was it, guys. I told you I'd done it Wednesday, Thursday.
No, I can't remember.
Or Wednesday or Thursday. Anyways, I went in and I canceled all but one of my pre-orders. And I will tell you why. I've been complaining since Yojo June that it was too much, right? It was just an absolute product dump. A product dump of, to be perfectly honest with you, at least half of those releases are army builders.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They really are. So you start doing fire teams and you start getting OCD about stuff and everything else. You're talking about 3, you're talking about 4 figures each. And we got more releases last week, and then they've actually still trickled pre-orders here and there since June, right? You guys, I did the math. It was like $1,300 worth of pre-orders.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's $200 here, it's $300 here, it's $50 here, another $200, $150. So I you know what? I got to a point where I go, you know what? Other than the Chuckles, I got in on the Chuckles, one for me and one for Rick. I did not cancel that one because I had committed to Rick, and I really want Chuckles. The rest of them, I'm just going to take my chances. I hadn't said anything to Emmeett until this afternoon, but I had to tell him because he started asking, when's the next stuff going to? What do you get next? And said, but nothing. Because the reality of it is for us, there just isn't money to commit to that kind of spending right now. There just isn't.
And especially not know when it's going to hit.
Well, they catch you flat-footed every stinking time, right? We personally are on a once a month basically and twice weekly pay schedule. And that's the way it's going to stay for a while, apparently. So they'll catch you flat-footed every stinking time, and a day or two can make a big difference because you know what?
Oh, yeah.
They drop you $150 pre-order, and if it's on the wrong account, whack. The bank is going to whack you with another $30, right? Because insufficient funds, blah, 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 blah. The rest of you are in the exact same boat every stinking time you go to the grocery store. It is more than it was last week. And we're not talking about a little bit more. We're talking $30, $40 a whack, I swear, almost weekly. If we are in a position where I try to bundle my medical appointments as close together as I can. So like this coming up week, I've got at least 3 runs down into Birmingham. And gas ain't cheap. I don't care what it is you're driving. Gas ain't cheap. So yeah, I see that comment. I move all my pre-orders to my credit card. Well, guess what? Yep, me too. And then I still have to pay for that credit card,
No.
which has become a problem because those eventually do get maxed out, and especially if you can't keep track of everything else that you really need to pay. So
Corey says his Valkyrie's pre-orders was shipped today. That's a month ahead of where they were supposed to be shipped.
And yes, right, Corey. And to be perfectly honest with you, I probably would have gotten mine the other day because I was notified on Monday morning that the Valkyries were getting ready to ship. And I'm looking at that going, shoot, right? Because it isn't there, guys. The fundage is not there. And I'm looking at this going, could I put it on a credit card? Sure. But I still have to pay. And I don't know if you've paid attention to the interest rates on your credit cards lately.
Yeah, they're going up.
If you're anywhere near 20%, you're doing very, very well.
Oh yeah.
They're not most are not 20% anymore.
Nope.
So you look at it like, you know what? And I've been seeing post after post after post. Oh, let me finish what I was going to say about what Corey was saying. Yes, I got my notification. That order is going to ship soon. That was Monday morning. And I'm pretty sure I sat on it for a couple of days, and that's when I decided Wednesday. I just can't do this, guys.
Yep.
So that's when I canceled all but the one of them.
Yeah, I canceled some of mine today.
I think we're kind of all in the same boat. I really do. I think if we're being honest. So I guess I'm seeing vintage posts pop up everywhere. And, man, guys are dropping stuff fast at, prices that are pretty hard to pass on. But you still got to pass on them because some of this stuff is just, deals.
Just today, I saw in another group 2 different people posting their classified figures. They're getting out of them. They're selling them.
Yeah.
And I wonder if as part of it, there's getting to be, they're just getting overwhelmed with it. Now it's like famine or feast. There is no in between with them. They're just.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm actually believing what you're saying, John. That we've had this conversation before. That you've watched Hasbro specifically do this, where they get a line that's successful, and they just kill the golden goose.
They do.
Because they just dump product as quickly as they can churn it out. And I hate to say this, guys, if that's what Hasbro is doing, because the rumor mill is right now G.I. Joe is the only profitable line that Hasbro has, which I actually believe because they pay no licensing on it. Yeah. Excuse me. She can say we're all caught up as of January, but that doesn't mean there isn't going to be more product dumps just because the sheer amount of what they're going to produce.
Right.
Am I out of collecting? Absolutely not. But I think I'm out of the pre-order game because the dates have been wacky at best. And you sit around waiting for just a big old massive bomb on the finances.
Oh yeah.
And I just can't do that. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that, see what you all had to say. Is the economy, and it's not a gripe session or a brag session one way or the other. How much is the economy actually affecting your collecting at this point in time? Because we're all sitting in the same boat. None of us sitting here is going, hey, the economy is going to be great next year. Just hang in there. No. I don't believe anybody believes that. I think we're all sitting here realizing it's going to do nothing but get worse.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and for us in the last year, last July, June, we were putting money in their savings account.
Yeah.
This year we're having to take it out.
Yeah.
This is what I make and I'm a single household income, so what I make ain't enough to cover everything. And it's just getting like that's what I'm looking. If I just go to town just to go to Walmart, stop and get something to eat, go to Walmart and get gas, $250 just in one trip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, we don't do the go out to eat stuff anymore at all.
We were going to Gadsden or Anniston, because Nancy likes going to the bigger Walmarts. They have bigger selection, and we would go usually 3 times in a week. We go to one of those 2 stores. Now we go once a week,
Right.
because we can't afford to go. I mean, the gas going there and back alone is just.
Yep.
But we try to go to Sam's once a month and try to get enough stuff there.
Yep.
And because you can't, if I make 2 or 3 trips to Sam's, it's an hour away. Because Oxford's the closest, or Rome's the closest for me. So if I make 2 or 3 trips to Sam's, well, I've done shot any savings I would have got out, off what I spent on gas going.
Yeah, right.
So we go once a month. We've always kind of done that, just going to Sam's once a month and try to get everything we need for the whole month there, and then get the other stuff, through the week at Walmart or one of the local grocery stores. But it's gotten ridiculous. I mean,
it has.
Prices have just gone completely crazy.
And we went today and bought just a few things for this week. We got a lot of meats already in the freezer and stuff. And we had I think it was 3 bags and a bag of potatoes, and it was $80-something.
Yeah.
I mean, that is ridiculous. A bag of potatoes is like $11.
Yeah.
When this time 3 years ago, it was $2, $2.50, $3, something like that,
Right.
It's just ridiculous. And there's no sense in it.
Well, I'll get personal here for a minute. You guys, if you watch us at all, Emmett's in and out, right? Well, Emmeett just both turned 13 in June, and he's a grandson. We've had him since he was days old, for the most part, and full time since he was less than 6 months old. So we've always known. But parents, grandparents, you kind of play the game. You want to know. You just kind of you go through life, and kids get a certain age, and certain things become undeniable, right? So he's on the autism scale. So I don't know if you guys realize this. Some of you do, I know for a fact. Some of you don't. But the waiting list for any kind of help with any kind of kids that struggle or anything, medically, psychologically, whatever, is huge. Months and months. And months. Right? So we go through this whole process with them, and this is just since June. We were blessed with getting into and having a couple of appointments with a group here in Birmingham that does alternative type education for kids with autism. Emmeett cannot go to the public school where we are. The junior high school in the 6th grade was absolute torture for him. Kids are cruel, and I'm sorry, but kids today are a whole hell of a lot more cruel than they were before. Some of these little monsters, and I don't use that term lightly. There's a bunch of little monsters roaming the halls in these schools. They're freaking little sociopaths, right? These aren't just bully kids. These are dangerous kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's because they didn't get a belt when they were at home.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
Yes. Well,
discipline has been taken out of the schools.
Yeah.
Well, we took Emmeett out.
Yeah.
And it's, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not geared for this. And we looked at the alternative schooling. He got to go to a summer camp for a week with these guys, day camp, but still got to spend a week with them and everything else. When it comes time for us to give them, they tell us the amount of money, $750 to $1,500 a month, depending on what we need them to do. And it's just like, you take health insurance? No.
I mean, why not?
Because it takes too many man hours for them to have an employee dedicated to wading through all of this insurance crap, right? They're going to spend 2 man hours. They're going to spend 2 days worth of work on one person to get paid for 1 day worth of schooling for the kid. So it's not worth it to them. So it's just like, well, wait a second. You're telling me I got to spend $13,000 a year for health insurance, and on top of that, for the kids' medical care, because that's what this actually is. Right? You want another $12,000 out of my pocket. Well, guess what? I can't do both.
No.
It's just like, and you know what? You guys, I think a lot of us are facing very similar things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may be, the copays, these $5,000 copays on these high dollar insurance policies. It's like, what's the point in even having it? But you have to use it because you have to chip away at that copay just in case something bad really, really happens to you, right? I mean, it's just like we're. I don't necessarily feel alone in this because I know that's not true, but I was just curious if just to have a conversation tonight to see just how badly it's affecting you guys because my discretionary spending is gonna be just about zero for a while.
Yeah. I personally just went to exclusives. That's it. But now everything's starting to look like it's going to be exclusive that you can't afford to get that.
So yeah, that's me. I only pre-order the exclusives.
Right.
And I was looking today, and like I said, I've got. I mean, if you figured it up, probably nearly $1,000 in just stuff that's exclusives.
Yep.
I'm like, and so that's why I canceled some of them. I was like, I can't do that. Not and most of them's probably going to come out between now and the middle of October.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a couple of them that says December the 1st, but I read between the lines that's going to be the middle of October when it actually hits. Because that's what happened last year.
Well, the way they're moving things up, yes, definitely.
That's what happened last year. They say that they was all spread out, and then between September and October, I got everything in those 2 months.
Yep. Yeah, but you know what's really ticking me off at this point in time is I was been fretting the September pre-orders, right? What were the September pre-orders? Shipwreck, Rock and Roll, right? Scrap Iron, Torpedo. They're clogging up the shelves at Walmart.
Yep.
Walmart hasn't had Joe's in months. Now all of a sudden, every Walmart in my area is all jammed up with them.
Yeah.
Right. Target too, and it's just like, why was I sweating that stupid pre-order? I mean, here's my thoughts. Am I taking a gamble? Sure. Especially on the Walmart stuff. Those range vipers may end up being a problem.
I think they want to be, yeah.
But I suspect everybody else is in the same boat as we are, and I don't think this stuff is going to sell. So, to Mr. Viper Island, who wants to Chicken Little everything all the time about the line is dead, the line is dead, the line is dead. I'm telling you right now, if something doesn't happen with this economy, all the lines are going to be dead.
You're right.
Because a lot of us are really, really hurting badly at this point in time. I saw this thing on the news the other day that said that from 1 year ago, every average household spending $750 more every month than they were 12 months ago. And that's not because that's not because everybody went out and picked up another car payment or bought a house. It's
your power bills are going up, your water bills are going up. I mean, everything is going up except for our pay. I mean, I don't see how this can be justified at all. And I don't like to get political or nothing, but
no, I know.
We're sending only $700 to U.S. citizens in Hawaii and sending $120 million to Ukrainians. To me, that's ridiculous. A one-time payment of $700 to families in Hawaii, Maui, that has lost everything. And from what I'm reading, now they're putting out this plan to not only take their land from them, but sell it to some kind of developers to develop it for other housing. So, I mean, this is all just crazy to me. This is weird.
I think we're getting to a point where our pressure relief valve, which is for most of us have been our hobbies, is going to start failing us because we can't afford our hobbies.
Our pressure relief valve is now becoming a pressure valve.
It is. And you know what? I hate to say it, I sat there. I have to be honest with you guys. I sat there. Like I said, I kicked it and kicked it and kicked it and kicked it. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, and that was John was saying, you know what? I'm going to get rid of everything but the exclusives. Mm-hmm. So when I go on Pulse, I made a list last week of all of my price, order number, blah, 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 right? And then I go on there and like, well, which ones are exclusive? 80% of them were exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, well, that doesn't do me any good. I sat there and I fretted and I kicked it around and I prayed about it and kicked it around and talked to my wife about it. And you know what? I just jumped. I jumped Wednesday. And this is the amazing thing. You know what I found? I feel a lot better about it, that it's not hanging over my head now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sitting here going, geez, you know what? There's so many other things that I really responsibly should be spending my money on, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just going to, for the next 4 months, it was going to suck it all up. Not to mention the fact we're going to fly right up on Christmas here real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It'll be here before you know it, man.
It's just like, how do I do this? The answer is I don't. And I think a lot of us are going to come to that point where we just go, how do I do this? Well, I don't. I can't.
Mm-mm.
You know, I'll do what I can. And I suspect that an awful lot of this stuff is still going to be sitting on the pegs. Anyways.
Yep.
I have to be honest with you. I was looking at a lot of the release stuff from McFarlane. There's my weekly McFarlane for you guys.
I was waiting on
it. And I have to tell you, most of what he's doing is repaints.
Yeah, a lot of
stuff that I'm not just not interested in. So that's a bit of a blessing. Seriously, because you know, they're $25 a piece too, and some of those, you know, the other sets are $40-$50. I'm pretty content with maybe picking up one or two of those a month as needed, you know, but that's going to be it. And I don't even think it'll be that many, to be perfectly honest with you. What's going on, Moose? So, I don't know. That's where I'm at. Where you guys at?
I'm in the same place.
Yeah,
I am. I mean, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
You know, we saw the flag display when we were at Jolanta. That 3/4 sanded plywood, about $80 a sheet.
Oh yeah,
but
I do that every day.
Yep, but that's a long ways into that project for $80, right?
Yeah,
That'll keep you busy, keep you entertained. Now I get it. Not everybody has a flag. That's not what I'm saying. I think it's time maybe we kind of back away from gotta have to more appreciating what we do have, and maybe that's where the diorama building comes in, and maybe there's a bunch of fledgling toy photographers out there that haven't done it before, but you know what? Maybe you should start appreciating what you have so that you don't. I guess my point is I'm worried about people losing that pressure relief valve.
Yeah, it's been lost. I can tell you that right now.
You know, just pick stuff up and start to actually appreciate it instead of worrying about accumulating more of it, because, you know, because I'm going to say about 90% of us easily are not going to be able to afford this hobby much longer. Not at the levels that we've been. I mean, good Lord, we have fun talking about releases, and we'll still do that, and we'll talk about what's coming, and we'll still do that. But I guarantee you, not many of us are going to be jumping to gotta have it right now. We're may have to wait 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. You know.
Let me ask you this. So I know at Joe Fest they were talking about the Veliverse figures, $31.99.
Yep.
And they said they were actually about to drop the price,
right,
and to like $26 or $27.99.
Yep.
But I also noticed that the next wave's coming on blister packs.
Yeah, they cut back on their packaging quality.
So I wonder, is the packaging how they're dropping the price? Is blister packs cheaper than the box?
Probably.
Which makes me wonder why the retro G.I. Joes are the same price as the box G.I. Joes in that case.
Because it's Walmart.
Well, true, it's Walmart. It is exclusive. But my thing is, if they just went blister packs with all the classified, could they drop the price? They're going to have to do something. Cause like you said, people ain't going to be able to afford it. I mean, toys is the last thing on the list.
It should be, yeah.
Hopefully it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, I mean, Hasbro's, it's going to catch up to the toy company sooner or later. They're going to have to do something to get the cost down, or people's going to quit buying altogether because they can't afford it.
I think this Christmas is going to be. I think this Christmas is really going to tell the tale. Because let's face it, Christmas last year was pretty dismal. I think this year is going to be an absolute bloodbath. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think they're going to be selling much of anything.
Well, you can already see it by just walking on the
Yes.
clearance aisle.
Yeah.
The clearance aisles are slap full of stuff right now.
Yep.
I mean, you can pretty much get whatever you want on the clearance aisle right now. I've never seen my Walmarts, local Walmarts, have 4 or 5 clearance aisles, but they do now.
They do now, yeah.
And I mean, you got one that's got like home goods and stuff like that, and you got toys. 2 of them's toys, and then another one is like outdoor stuff, which I know they're clearancing that out because outdoor stuff is going out, and fall and summer or winter stuff's coming in. But man, it's just packed, man. It's just packed with stuff.
Yeah, and they're not selling there either.
No, they're sitting there.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, you're going to end up with like Odd Lots and Ollie's and stores like that will need 500 times the floor space that they've got just to handle all of the stuff that's going to end up dumped onto the market.
I'm going to tell you, Ollie's is jam packed with Marvel Legends now.
Yeah.
Most of them around here. I mean, they got
Star Wars stuff too. Black
Yeah.
Series Star Wars stuff too, man.
Yeah.
It's packed.
It
Fortnite
just-
stuff.
Yeah.
Fortnite, you think that was a big seller because of the kids, but man, Ollie's is packed with
The
Fortnite.
Black Series, it seems like right now they're just focusing on the shows, but it's like they don't have any, it's just plain dull characters. It's not any, the original Star Wars, you had all the aliens, all the creatures. That's what kids likes.
Mhm.
Stuff like, it's just so, all the figures are just like black or gray and just so dreary looking.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I'm going to say the last 4 months, it's been really, really telling, because I don't care what Walmart I go to, and I don't really care what Target I go to. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, there are more workers in the toy aisles than there are children in the toy aisles, and they're either putting stuff back in those, return boxes, or they're putting more stuff back on the shelves. That's not moving.
Mhm.
It's just not moving. Like I said, there's more workers than there are kids in the toy aisles now.
Oh yeah.
And it's I see kids oogling the Switch games, the PS5 stuff, or standing there playing on the cell phones that are there for display than I do messing around in the toy aisle. I can't even remember the last time I saw a kid in the bicycle, where the bicycles are, staring at one of those longingly like he needed it, like, the worst thing ever. Things have changed. Things have changed quite a lot. I just think it's going to change a lot more. So
I do too.
I think that's going to reflect this webcast too, because I think we were going to end up focusing more on some of the restoration stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of the really budget diorama stuff, a lot of the photography stuff. I really don't see us focusing a whole lot on new stuff, because to tell you the truth, I think a lot of people are going to end up feeling bad because they're just not going to be able to get this stuff. Not to mention the fact we're not going to be getting as much stuff to show.
Nope.
Right.
It's getting ridiculous. It really is.
I still think we're in for a huge price increase. We have to be in for a huge price increase.
I don't see how they can justify a price increase, though. I don't.
I'm not sure they're going to have a choice, though.
Getting less stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see how they can justify one. If they up the price on classifieds again, I'm out. That's all.
Right. It won't even be a protest thing. It'll be I'll have no choice, because it's
it won't be a choice at all.
Yeah. I think that's the type
of $21.99 to $24.99.
Yeah.
You're looking at 4 figures, $100.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
Used to over 100 after taxes and shipping and everything.
Yeah.
So, in a weird way, if you look at it, the way everything else has gone, toys have not kept up with inflation. You think about that. I mean, it's like you said, you walked out of there with 4 bags of groceries, it's freaking $80.
Oh yeah.
Toys really have not kept up with inflation. That's why I say there's a big price increase coming somewhere. And whatever's left are going to get wiped out, because moms and dads are not buying toys for their kids.
They're not.
Well, the truth is they can't.
Right.
They just can't. So, I mean,
Well, I mean, you look, they buy iPads and these Kindles and the Switches and stuff. You know, $200 or $300, and that keeps that kid busy for a couple of years.
Yeah.
The way it is
yeah,
now.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a great investment opposed to buying them a different action figure every other week.
Yeah, because like you said,
Especially at $25 a pop. Because
exactly right.
You know, like John said, 4 of them, that's over $100 after taxes.
Yep.
You know, and if they increase it again by $3 more, you're looking at right at $30.
I think they're gonna. I think their goal is $30. $29.99. I think that's where they're going to end up.
Viper Island, it will die.
Yeah. Well, it won't have any choice because by the time you pay the tax, that's 10%, give or take here, right? Yep. 3 figures, $90. Another $9, you're at $100 for 3 figures.
Yep.
Which is not sustainable.
Not at all.
Not even close. If you want my honest opinion, these classified figures should be $15.
Every bit of it. No more than 20, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the deluxe figures should be 25. That's really where they should be. Is that actually feasible for Hasbro from a business standpoint? I don't think it is, because their costs are way up too.
I don't get, because like I said, a few weeks ago I went into the Gadsden Walmart and they had a bunch of stuff on the main aisle marked down, clearanced. Then when I went back a week later, it went right back to full price. I still don't know what the deal was with that. But I don't know. I don't understand. This is, aside from the Captain Atom and the Vampire Superman, which was brand new, and those have to be clearanced, and then they were back full price, which makes sense. But like the Dungeons and Dragons movie figures, I picked up, when I went in there, I picked up the dragon, because it's like, they had it for $22. It was regular $35. I said, well, I'll give $22 for it, because it was, it was pretty cool.
Sure.
And they had the figures marked out from $24.99 to $16. And I thought about going ahead and picking them up, and I thought, no, I'll wait. And when I went back, of course, they were back up. So, of course, I walked out and left them. If they'd have left it down there, then they would have made a sale. But instead, they're still sitting on the shelf and collecting dust. I don't understand why Walmart's not going ahead and clearancing this stuff off and trying to get it out of there. It's better to make $16 than make $0. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To me, if it's not moving, mark it down and get it out of there. I don't get that.
I think the shelf. I can say at this rate, especially with the way they're doing things, the shelf life on a figure should be about 90 days. If it has not sold in 90 days, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right. Because you know what, you got another wave coming. They're just about quarterly.
And I think that's why we didn't see a lot of stuff prior to. I mean, why it took us 9 months to finally get the Dusty's Around Wave was because it was clogged up with older stuff like the Snake Eyes movie figures, who some Walmart still have at full price.
Yeah, I know.
Baroness retro cards everywhere still.
And I mean, it's been 2 years since the movie come out, and they still got the figures at full price. Yep. Clearance them off and get them out of there.
Just clear up. We were always told the most expensive part of toys is the shelf space, right?
Yep.
That shelf space is extremely valuable. Then why are all these dust catchers just sitting there for years, literally for years? And it's, I don't know.
If they were moving them out and getting new stuff in, I wouldn't have pre-ordered the other ones that come out. I would have been buying Shipwreck and Rock and Roll from the shelf, but it took so long for them to get to around a Dusty Wave. I'm like, what am I going? And I didn't think I was going to ever find them. I just give up. So I went ahead and ordered them online because those I didn't pre-order, but I did go ahead and order them online, and now they're showing up. And I'm like, if they would get them, when everybody else does, then I would buy them there, and they would make sales and move it along, and it would be helping the local economy instead of giving it to Hasbro directly. But that's another reason why I'm going to take a chance on the regular releases. Try to catch them in the store. If they get these that's clogging up the shelves now out of there, where we'll get them. That's the only thing.
Right. Yeah. Well. Right. That's right. Right.
It's like, I don't know. It's a catch-22.
I'm looking at. This is interesting. I'm looking at Timothy's last comment there. In a way, I wish they'd just go back to 3 3/4 figures and vehicles. I have to tell you,
Well, they're no different in price, though, really, if you think about it.
No, but there's a different. I will say this. I've been thinking about this a lot. It's interesting that he says that. You remember the 80s. You guys, we were all in the toy aisles in the 80s, right? There was easily 80% less lines than there are now. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And the lines that we had, that 20% compared to today, they took up 90% of this shelf space. When you went to the Joes, man, there were Joes. When you went to Star Wars, there was Star Wars, right? Variety, diversity, variety, right? I mean, seriously, from price point to character to, good, bad, right? G.I. Joe, Hasbro, all of the big lines, they all hit it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parents were much more likely to buy kids' toys back then than they go into the toy aisle and they look, and what do they see? Seriously, what do they see? They see absolute chaos when you step inside. It's nothing but chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 trillion different lines. Each one's got 2 pegs. Everything looks exactly the same. Yeah. Let's be serious. From a parent's perspective, this stuff, especially this Japanese stuff, it all looks exactly the same. And if you don't like what you're looking at, turn around 180 degrees and you'll just see more of what you don't like what you're looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's disorganized. It's frantic. It's chaotic. Toy aisles used to be organized, right? Here's all the G.I. Joes. Here's all the Star Wars. It didn't. I swear it's subliminal. Parents see all of that chaos, and all they see that is translating onto their kids' floor. Mm-hmm. Right? This is stuff that ain't never going to be appreciated, and it's not going to be played with because, let's face it, the marketers can't even appreciate it. It's just stuff. It's just stuff. It's just clutter, right? That great old world. It's just clutter. I will add to what Timothy says. Do you want to go back to 3 3/4 vehicles and figures? Absolutely. But I also want 80% of the toy lines gone.
Right.
I want them gone. I want the toy department to be the exact same size as it is now, but 80% of the product gone. Well, then you'll see parents buy their kids' toys again.
I went to Walmart twice this weekend, yesterday and today. And I was the only kid in the toy aisle. In any of them.
Yep.
So, I mean, there is no kids buying toys, man.
Nope. The parents don't want nothing to do with it.
And like you said, parents don't buy the kids toys because they've got these handheld babysitters.
Yep.
I mean, why would you buy them toys when you got everything right here in their hands?
See, this is the thing. That's what I was just trying to hit on, and I missed it. So I apologize. I'm going to go back. You know what Shane just showed? Shane just holds this thing. You know what this is to kids? This is community, right? This is commonality. This is play, because they're all playing with each other and they're all actually interacting with each other online. And none of that crap is real. Let's face it. It's just not. You can't even guarantee you who your kid's talking to anymore.
Nope.
When we were kids, we had community, and that community was our Star Wars toys, our G.I. Joe stuff, whatever. When I was a kid, Planet of the Apes, right? The Mego dolls, whatever, blah, 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 blah. The community was that house that had the biggest yard where everybody met, right? We all had, every neighborhood had one of those, right? Where all the kids congregated at that one house, because almost always they had the biggest yard, or that kid had the biggest toys and he couldn't move them as easily as the rest of us could. Our community used to revolve around wiffle ball, kickball, football, right? And the common toys that we had. Now, if you've got 100 kids, you've got 100 kids that play with 100 different things. Mm-hmm. Right?
I'll tell you right now, there's no telling how many weapons to G.I. Joes and Star Wars has been lost in my mother's backyard.
Oh, yeah.
My mom and dad's backyard, it was just a beautiful. There's a hill that come down, then another steep little hill, and it flattened out. Kids wanted to play on that hillside all day. Whether it was rolling down the hill or playing on the hillside with our G.I. Joes, making roads and stuff. We had creativity. We had an imagination. It's not there no more.
Nope.
Right here, this perfect comment.
I'm thoroughly convinced that the classifieds are being bought by people that played with them when they were kids.
They're not buying them.
Because you don't have a cartoon driving it. That's why
you guys have heard me say it 1,000 times. Classified needs to be in the collector section in the electronic department at Walmart's and Targets.
But
It doesn't go to Toy House.
Yeah, but it goes back again to we had 3 networks. We had the same cartoons. We all watched the same cartoons.
Yep. It was community,
now,
right?
You can't find 3 kids that any of them watch the same cartoons because you got so many streaming services,
right?
And they'll sit there and binge watch cartoon. We had to wait a whole week before we got another episode.
Anticipation.
And you don't have that driving behind it anymore, and that's why they're not selling. That's why another reason why you got 80 different lines on the shelf instead of 4 because you got 80 different cartoons on 80 different.
That's right. Now, all the head shrinkers and all the rest of us will go, "Oh, that kind of diversity is great. It promotes individuality." No, it doesn't. It promotes antisocial behavior. It creates loneliness and depression, and it completely destroys any sense of community.
Exactly.
So let's end this little rant on a potentially positive note. You know what? If all of this economic mess can have a bright side, it could be that even us as adults, we have to have a lot less options, because you know what? We almost feel guilty about not taking too many options half the time.
Yeah.
We need to get the culture needs to get our focus much more narrow, just like it used to be. That we have completely lost community, completely lost it. Corey talks about killing creativity and imagination. It did. And the only reason that we had creativity and imagination is because we were being prompted and egged on and encouraged by the other kids that we were playing with.
Yep.
Right? If you live in a digital world, it's predetermined. It's all set out in front of you. The software only does certain things. It's only created certain things. It has certain parameters, and it can't stray from them. Kids in the sandbox, man, you go anywhere and do anything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Duke is an astronaut with Spider-Man today.
Yep.
Right? And that's how it was played. And you know what? If there's a bright side to it, maybe that's us getting back to having a whole lot less options and clutter in our lives. Because I do it, man. I walk into the toy aisle and I've had to catch myself doing this repeatedly. That, picking up another line because there's nothing out from what I'm collecting. That looks interesting. Maybe I'll dip my toe in here. It's never a toe dip, right? You're just in it. And it's the same thing. My wife and I have so many stupid TV series going on right now, right? That are cliffhangers, and it might be 2 years before we see another episode.
Exactly.
And now we're finding out that most of them aren't even going to be picked up again. So now we're going, well, that was a complete and total waste of time. You guys can call me crazy, but I'm telling you, we are spoiled rotten as a culture, and we have way too many options because we're lovely little individuals, but we got no community.
I don't even watch any new shows now. I can't even think of one that I even watch now. I watch old stuff.
Most of it's junk.
No. It is. It's not worth watching.
It's true. It's true.
I'd rather go back and watch old reruns of shows that I grew up on.
Yeah. Well, we were watching Yellowstone. Everybody knows about Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, we watched the first couple and canned it.
Season 5 come out. First half, great show. We loved it. Yada yada yada. Now, second half of season 5 was supposed to have been out spring. Then it was early summer. Now we don't even know when the second half's going to be out there because
this writer's strike.
Crazy,
right?
I just don't get it.
Twisted Metal, badass show. Now 2 years. We get season 3. I don't even know what that show is.
I remember the Twisted Metal game, video game.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, it's Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Paramount, whatever streaming service you got, it's either it's a kid show or it's majorly adult. There's no in between.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Pluto was awesome though.
An adult show that don't have foul language all the way through it.
I know. Pluto was pretty awesome though. We discovered that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've been loving the Godzilla channel because I sit there and numb out and watch stupid old Godzilla movies because I loved them as a kid.
That last time I was sick, I sat there and watched the Beverly. They had a Beverly Hillbillies channel on there. I guess some of them may change up because it'd be like Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
And next month it'd be something different. And all, but
Emmett's been watching Hogan's Heroes. He's right in love with Hogan's Heroes now, which is really cool.
We've got what's it called?
But
Tubi
those shows
TV.
were entertaining.
Yes. What was that, Shane?
We've got Tubi TV, and it's the same way. You can look up old shows, and then we've also got some Friendly TV. I don't know if y'all have heard of that, but it's got Beverly Hillbillies, Gunsmoke, Rifleman, all that good old stuff is on there. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. I can sit down and watch that all day long.
Yep.
Bonanza, things like that. Just Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons,
Sanford and Son,
all in the family. I
love Sanford and Son.
Three's Company.
I mean, come on. Let's face it. Okay, everybody, just stop. Let's have some silence.
I'm praying for all the old shows that are gone.
Nope. I'm going to just say a couple words. And I just think about this. I'll say bass harmonica. If I say bass harmonica, everybody that was alive in the 1970s automatically goes to that Sanford and Son theme song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's classic stuff right there.
Every time we're hauling off a load of garbage from a job we're working on, I'm doing that going down the road.
Esther, I'll stick your face in dough, make gorilla cookies.
Oh, I gotta love it.
Oh man.
I watched an episode the other day where Lamont and his friend got caught and Fred actually got caught at a movie studio making a porno.
Oh, jeez.
And Esther had to come bail him out. So
Esther had to come bail him. That's funny.
You know how that goes. It was great.
Hey, looks like we got 3 minutes left. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want y'all's thoughts on this wolf spider figure that's circling around.
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
He's a brand new character.
Yeah, brand new character, looks like.
Yeah, that's everything I've heard. It's a brand new character. Seems to be of Indian descent, as in India. I think this is the beginning of this international, soldier team stuff. That's my opinion. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm over Glenda. This one, yeah, exactly. This one, I'm sorry, but we really have way too many classic characters to do without going off into this new crap. I'm sorry. This one I don't like. You can put Night Force on it all you want. That's not. We got way too many classic characters that we need done before we start making new ones. That's me.
Yeah, I'll agree with Timothy. He is looks cool.
Sure.
Thing, but I mean, like, I agree with Dave. We got so many characters that could be made that isn't even in the thoughts of being made.
He's not wetsuit cool.
No.
Right? He's not Flash cool.
He's not mainframe cool. He's not dial tone cool.
No.
There's so many characters.
Doc, Lifeline, right? Airtight.
Hit and Run. Bullhorn. I mean,
I get like the what's the like Helix and
Deep Six. There you go.
What's the jungle one from the
just Rasta Man there. Gunja Man. What do they call it? Tracker.
Yeah. Shadow Tracker, yeah. I get those because a lot of the people that are into Joe's collected in the 2000s.
Sure. At least you got history.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm like you. Let's get more of the others out before we really start creating all new characters. Or if you're going to do all new characters, let them be exclusives. Which this guy may be. I don't know. I've just seen pictures here and there, and I hadn't really read about it. So
Yeah, I'm not against the new characters. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's a lot more characters that could be made before we start getting new characters.
That's right.
I mean, a lot of classic stuff.
Yeah, what worries me is I'll tell you what worries me is the G.I. Joe movie, Rise of Cobra. This whole international notion.
Mm-hmm.
I smell that all over this figure. I smell that all over this new comic. It's really got me nervous because that's what they seem to want to do, even though we barely have a market for this stuff in the United States anymore, let alone overseas. I don't understand what Hasbro's doing.
And I wonder if this character is going to be in the new comic.
That's my suspicion.
I figure so. I'm thinking he's going to be the main character from what I'm thinking. I mean, he may not be, but
something. And, I'm not going to repeat that one comment because I don't need to, but I know there's a number of us that are already thinking it, so we just don't need to say it. It's just got that smell about it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what worries me. Like I said, I don't object to new characters. I really don't. If we were truly going to get 5 characters to a wave, if one of those 5 is a brand new character that Hasbro wants to make, great. The other 4 need to be classic characters, right? That's just it. I don't think we have room for that yet. I just don't. Especially, this looks like it's going to be a standalone Walmart exclusive.
It will be because it's not forced.
So.
Oh, it is. So
that's not a 5. That's not a 5-figure wave.
No,
it's just a random figure that's going to show up.
And that force is going to be Walmart exclusive.
Yep, just that. Yeah, Target got the other end of it with Python Patrol.
Yep,
and Tiger Force. So
and Cobra Island stuff.
And yep. So
they're done with the Cobra Island line. So
yeah. Hey, gentlemen, and viewers, thanks for a good night. Actually, we had some good comments. We had some good conversations. I really hope we get to a point where a lot more people start interacting with us.
Yeah.
I really do, because you know what, it's been said. I don't know. I've heard. I'll be honest with you. I've heard you guys just sit there and talk for 2 hours and it's boring. Well, start talking too.
Right.
Right. We're actually trying to get conversation going here instead of just telling you the news that we want to tell you, or making up leads or speculating about crap, or telling, hey, we're going to have a poll and it's brand new. It's not. It's the same old stuff. We're actually trying to build community. I'm sorry. We're right back where we were. We got a lot of guys in the group that could really, really benefit and be a benefit to this. Just start talking. If you find it boring, contribute. How's that?
Yeah.
So
looking for new members or existing members that hasn't been on the show to just send us a message. Say, hey, put me on.
Yeah, exactly.
Put me in, coach.
It's easy. All you have to do is agree with me, and you'll be on the show. Other than that, you won't
be. How many more people can we add to this? Is there a number?
I think I can get up to like 12 people on it.
Oh yeah. We should try shooting for a big show with a bunch of people on it.
We'll do the Brady Bunch thing, right?
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that would be good. Try to get multiple people in there.
Why not?
We could call it the Dummy Bunch instead of the Brady Bunch.
Cool. Hey, let's
Merc Madness. We'll call it Merc Madness weekend.
Merc Madness. Let's run the final credits. Get out of here.
Hey, just remember, be on the lookout for new figures now. Come on.
Keep an eye out for them.
Keep an eye out for them.
Keep an eye out for them.
Keep an eye out for them.